What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video, and if you guys enjoy it, remember to drop a thumbs up, share the content overall, especially if you find it educational. So as Donald J. Trump inauguration is drawing a bit closer, many of our liberal counterparts are finding themselves confused and appalled as to how Donald Trump has actually secured another 4-year tenure into the White House. So guys, in this video, we're going to elaborate on some of the key issues, key concern that the Democratic Party decided for some reason to doubling down upon. So they insisted on not resolving the real problem, and unfortunately we do have them. These key issues are not in particular order, so we're just going to discuss them. Coming out as number one is the abortion movement. And to understand this, you have to view it from a personal point of view. You see, 4 or 5 decades ago, whenever a woman experienced an abortion, the deed itself has to be kept a secret. And especially it matters if the woman is concerning with securing a long-term, meaningful relationship or just to have a husband. Now, what we have come to realize, especially in the Democratic Party, the abortion issue is much more celebrated rather than discussing the advantage and the disadvantage of going through an abortion. We've also noticed the majority of our young college girls are becoming such a staunch believer in abortion as if they're going to experience several of them throughout their lifetime. The American people are watching this in horror. They're mind boggled. They could not believe this, and they have come to realize that the Democratic Party does not necessarily concern with the top issue that's going through the country, but rather than trivial things. Just another point I need to make right here. We've also know that indeed there are some folks that they must go through an abortion if they have some underlying conditions. However, we don't want the abortion to be portrayed as if it has to be integrated into our Constitution. The point is, the majority of American people, especially folks from the right, are finding it unpleasant that the abortion movement, rather than being discussed, but just being celebrated by the Democratic Party. They understand, of course, that some folks will have to go through it, but they also acknowledge it must be left to the state to make that decision. Gender dysphoria. Guys, buckle up. While the Americans are spending the majority of their time at work, their kids were sent to school to acquire an education to develop the skill set, especially to enter the workforce. They were dumbfounded to find that the school system was very much concerned of lecturing those kids about gender dysphoria. The American people were furious because this is not what they're up for, and that's not the type of education that they want their kids to understand and to develop. And to aggravate things, we have come to realize some school systems are providing kids with puberty blockers so that they could determine whether or not down the path they would transit into a boy or a girl through the process of undergoing surgery. Another big failure of the Democratic Party, they're not necessarily standing up for the interest of the American people, and all these nonsense gender dysphoria, which probably represent only 1% or 2% of the population. Those folks overall, these political figures, they're not the ones to be running the country, and it would be a big failure. The third concern is about the Ukrainian war. While billions of tax dollars were pouring into Ukraine, people are expecting a swift victory, and in fact, they understand that the Russians have come to Ukraine to occupy them, and the Ukrainians were provided all the tools necessary in order to repel all the Russians' attack. To the astonishment of the American people, they have found themselves stuck at a war that is ongoing, that is endless, and is going through their whole tax dollars. They're appalled, they want this to stop, and they have come to realize that the Democratic Party, especially some of the figures such as the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, every one of these folks are also culpable, but they did not put an end. They miscalculated the war, and taxpayers' dollars are burning through it. The American people are also come to realize that they're not up for this, and therefore they accept the narrative of Donald Trump in terms of ending the war in order for things to get back to normal. That's exactly what they're looking for, and the Democratic Party has also failed the American people again and again. So these, in a nutshell, are all the reasons that the American people have moved forward and voted for Donald J. Trump to run the entire country, to be the commander-in-chief. These are the thought process I wanted to bring up to your attention. And remember, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment, share it across social media. And also, if you have some other contents that you would like me to make, please leave a comment down below. Shoot me a text message. Thank you, and I'll be looking forward to see you in the next video.